Hi all, nice to meet you. My name is Seun, and thank you all. I warmly welcome you to the Korean Local Creators Lab 101. Just brief intro of who we are and like what can you expect from the sessions, and yeah. Alright, so I'm Seun, and I'm going to be the main lecturer of the 8-week sessions. So I am currently doing the PhD in the program for the urban regeneration, and I'm from the Korea University. So very brief background. So I've been working in this like social innovation, social enterprises. I also worked for this couple of startups. So I have some career in like both like this is business development and digital marketing. So and I've been like a couple of startups, and also I founded my own business. So I am quite like have my savviness in this field. At the same time, I always been having this attachment and sort of like calling in this urban like urban revitalization, which basically is like these cities are supposed to decline as time goes by because of this industry change, population change, and it just like felt so interesting to just do something to change something out from that. So that have brought me to come to the KU, and I've been like doing some research topic on this, how to sort of like make like this living environment like of the neighborhood more inclusive, so that it's not just like a living environment for like this people who've been like there all the time, like for example Korean nationals. I've just like a quick info. I've traveled over 30 countries because my family's been traveling a lot since I was little. So so I was able to like make friends with like so many people from different countries. So I got like was quite like international students friendly and all this, and like love hanging out with these people. And like I just found I came back to Korea after finishing my degree in University of Bath. I studied in England, and I came back in Korea 2020, and I just realized now we have quite many like 외국인s like in South Korea. We are not like Korean like nationality only country. So what can like we do to make this culture and like cities more inclusive, to just make to include more like diversity of people. So that's been my interest. Brief intro of who I am and what I am interested in. So and just one quick add-on. I'm a founder of my own company. It's called Locolinsa, and it's supposed like the vision of Locolinsa is to sort of like make this local environments, neighborhoods of Korea more accessible to those living in South Korea, like regardless of their cultural backgrounds and countries of a region. So you can check the story of the company out from our Instagram, which is here. You can just search by this company name, or on YouTube we also have some background of the company, and we sometimes post a couple of events and what's going on, also events including foreigners in Korea via social channels, so you may want to check those out. This is like kind of like extra stuff that I engage in other than this 101 class. So warmly welcome you. We are always welcoming new customers. Okay, and I'm going to do the sessions with Rain, who is my amazing teammate. We've been working together on this project of bringing more 외국인s to Annam area and making some buzz. I've been doing this with Rain a couple months ago. We've been doing great, and like just give a lot of applause to Rain, who's gonna be our teaching assistant.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, do you want to briefly say hi to people and like introduce?
I think.
Oh, coming to stage.
Again, I just wanna thank you friends for coming today, and I hope you can let's make the full out of this lectures and workshop. Like I wish you can get something, we can also get something, and at least we can make new friends, do some networking with each other, and yeah, it's not like we're gonna do one-way lecture, but it's like more of a collaboration, like between us, between the campus, and with the foreign residents, foreign friends. So yeah, I think that's all from me, and thank you, Sol.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, it would be so much more difficult without you to do all this. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so a brief intro of the course. So I'm gonna just gonna quick recap of the session. So we are gonna do 8-week sessions from today, and throughout the sessions, you are gonna understand. Just like I'm not gonna do like whole this theories or stuff, all this background knowledge. Just brief because I guess you don't really get to listen to the English lecture about anything about Korean urban regeneration or that kind of topic. So I'm just gonna briefly introduce. So this is how it's been about. And we are going to introduce a couple of cases, supposedly interesting cases of Korean urban regeneration or revitalization. So cities were quite in decline, but something happened and like people started to spring up. So I'm going to introduce a couple of interesting cases. And we are thirdly discussing the team every session. So we also plan to bring some Anandong 맛집, like treats and sandwiches and like snacks. So today's spread, I hope you are all enjoying. I think they have quite good reputation for their great focaccia and ciabatta. I think it's quite decent. I tried it. It's from Dia Bread. I mean, like honestly, they have so many good, local stores, but I don't think it's very well known to those who go to KU or people living in Anamdong. So I'm just trying to show different local stores and restaurants to you by each session. So enjoy. We're gonna go for a short half-day trip around Annam, and I'm gonna explain this later on. But we expect to have our first field trip on either the last week of April or the last week of this month. So I'm gonna do the survey to make sure the most number of people can turn up. So, and probably the most interesting one, we are going to create the local content with all together in a group with our own sort of designs and concepts, our interests. And we are going to present this on the very last day, which is the day that we're going to have something like a networking party thing with some delicious food and drinks. So that's pretty much it. For the field trips and the last day at the networking party thing, you are also welcome to invite one of your friends who may also be interested in the project. So, Rain suggested this, and I think it's a great idea. So if you attend more than 6 out of 8 sessions, just don't go away after a lecture ends or something. Just we're gonna have 1 hour lecture, and followed by that is 1 hour team discussion. So you finish everything. That counts as your attendance, and including this group discussion and field trip activities, everything. If you attend more than 6, we are going to provide you with a certificate of completing the program. Yay! So I am sort of trying to persuade the Campustown to provide the certificate if it's available, if it can be under the name of Korean University Campustown. I hope the best. Or else it can be the name of Locolinsa, which is my company, but we're gonna see. But you're definitely gonna get the certificate for turning up and participating in all these activities. Hope this can be a little bit of a more motivation. I mean, just please turn up next session. Don't just come today and never come again. I mean, so the QR codes are gonna given every end of the session. so that you can like it's basically like a quick assignment or like just what do you think? Give your opinions about this stuff. So you can just simply open your mobile phone or your iPad to give your opinions, and that counts as your attendance mark. So that means even though you cannot make it for the offline lecture, we're recording the session and we're going to share the lecture slides. So you can just rewatch this and go to scan the QR codes and then leave your feedback and opinions, and that can still count as your attendance, just for a reminder. So that is it. And the lecture slides are prepared for each classes, but they are going to be given after the class if you don't mind. Sessions take place at the Smart Startup Cafe, which is here. Just for a quick info, this place is open to anyone. You don't have to be KU students, you don't have to be students, you don't have to be Annam residents or anything. So it's open to everyone and you don't have to pay anything for like a membership or anything. And if you come, you get one free drink. And I think they do a quite good, like chocolate latte. I tried that and it's quite good. He makes good. So feel free to just drop in anytime. Sometimes they are closed for some reason, but you can just like give a call and like check it's open. If it's open, you can just come up for any, like free coffee, and you can work on your assignments, or you can just like have a chat with your friends, anything like that. So anything like Fridays, you can just come here earlier than 5 p.m. and just do your stuff. Free coffee and like exam periods, you have a hard time finding the space to get your like seat in the Starbucks. So don't do that. Come to Startup Cafe. I think it's pretty cool. So the first part is about very brief introduction of the Korea's urban revitalization. Okay, anyone who's got this concept of urban revitalization, Rain, what do you think is the urban revitalization?
That's such a difficult words, I guess. Revitalization. See, to pronounce it is quite hard, I think. So I'm not sure how well you guys know about this urban revitalization thing. But let me take a guess. So like it's urban means city or like urban areas within the city, and revitalization means like revitalize, make it like vital again. So I guess it's something related to like make things great again in a right?
Make America great again.
I know.
Oh, you're really good at like speaking as if you really don't have no idea and you're just like guessing everything. Okay, great. Great, thanks. Any one more person who will have ever okay.
Is it another way of saying gentrification?
Gentrification. Oh,
Interesting.
anywhere else to?
I think you can say gentrification is like one impact or effect of revitalization. Like it could lead to gentrification, but it's not quite the same. It's not exactly identical. So
Yeah, like gentrification can be quite negative.
Yeah.
Because you guys know what this gentrification is like. I think this word is rooted from the word gentleman, because basically it's like the city gets more gentlemen because the prices go up, and the places for like elites and like high classes it's gonna fill the city. So those like just like middle class or like normal people, I don't know what normal people is, but like they are kicked out from the city, so it's gentrification. I feel like revitalization is sort of like one way of solving the gentrification out, but there's no right answer. I'm not an expert in this field. So I guess all the cities, all these countries have these urban issues, and maybe you've heard the word, like I think it was like back in 2013, 14, this word slumification was quite rampant, I guess. Yeah, my cities are becoming slums, like they're in the United States and like all these like different continents, countries. Korea, I mean, this is quite an old concept, but maybe you've heard about the miracle of Han River. Yay. So it kind of refers to this, okay, South Korea enormously transformed it was basically just like from the dust, because it was like everything was destroyed basically after the Korean War in 1950. And they had to rebuild the cities and everything, infrastructures. And surprisingly, okay, this is a graph. So like this thing I put in a square, this is like Korea and like urban, like sort of like in a city, like the proportion of cities or something, like it is like quite soaring up rapidly compared to which is like this flat one is the UK. And like this one is Japan. Okay, this one is of course China. Okay, we both like rapidly grow in terms of like urbanization and like how much people actually living in Korea and urban. So we have like the table here. I don't know if you can see the numbers clear, but okay, basically like 2021, according to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, I'm going to just say MOLIT from now. More than 90% of people in Korea live in cities, urban areas. And this number is expected to soar and like basically according to COSIS, so it's like a Bureau of Statistics of Korea, by 2045, we are expected to have more than 85% of the land covered by cities. And list like other countries, Asian countries, I think like this Hong Kong is going to be 100% cities. So 2021 statistics say 4.7 million out of 5.2 Korean people, they are living in cities, and this number is expected to grow. So what characterizes this rapid development of Korea cities? There is no one answer, but one of was quite remarkable been this top-down land and housing supply. Okay, I think it basically blinks at the important sentence or something. The kind of so that has resulted in, because like basically if this public is gonna select which cities to rebuild, this is like all these high-story apartments, they got to do some calculation based on, okay, this is gonna yield this amount of social benefits and stuff. So there has been a couple of these areas also in Seoul that's been quite, I mean, you cannot fall into the redevelopment category because you don't have population enough or like reasons like that, public reasons like that. So there's been like this city soaring, but on the other hand, there have been the decline of some old towns, and you've probably been walking this streets that look pretty much like this, either in Iljiru or like even Jongno-gu, Anamdong area. They have quite of this sort of looking neighborhoods. And in fact, 2016 statistics say more than 66%, so that's like 2 out of 3 cities are in decline. I'm going to explain more about the declining cities. And like some pissed off citizens, like, we want the redevelopment, but not the revitalization or whatever. And yeah, I mean, talk to your citizens, not just decide by yourself. So there's been some citizens who's not been really happy about this top-down approach in terms of developing their land. And like with all the societal problems, just like so many other countries, there's been like, okay, we've got to do something. So this is like a timeline, very briefly. So we briefly started to look at, okay, what to do. So what is like the problems about the cities? And like that's been probably something like 2007. So like the government started to do some, put up some R&D projects about, okay, what's the problems, what solutions are available. And so this is the year when the government finally came up with a policy. So that was 2013. So I searched this up, the English name for this act is Special Act on Promotion of and Support for Urban Regeneration. It's available here. Anything you want to read more, I put up all the sources and quotes on the slide so you can find. Sparked from this act, they started to come up with this project called Korean Urban Regeneration New Deal. That's from 2017. And since then, about more than 500 cities were chosen for this New Deal. And they've been doing a couple of projects. And industry-based projects, real estate, local businesses, they're like trying to expand areas of business. And this is the Korean urban development change in brief. So they used to have like this small-scale urban revitalization projects, like this on your left. Small scale. I didn't really erase off all these Koreans in case some of you want to compare this English and Korean. Like, okay, this is like I can do some Korean learning as well. It's small scale rehabilitation. So, for example, it's like sport based, which means like it's very like a small area based, and it's like with relatively small budget. And now it's progressed to like a more large scale. Like as you can see, it's like more of like this space based with some increased budget and increased variety of amenities. Like they're not just making the map of the city, but is coming up with housing or like public parking lots and public spaces, CCTVs, smart devices. So scaled up, really. So this is the new concept, urban regeneration, since 2017. So the new urban regeneration, New Deal. There's been like many thesis papers, reports about, so this has been the progress and this has been the issue, so we've got to come up with the solutions. In my words, I sort of summed up 3 important points that I think should be dealt with when it comes to Korean urban regeneration, which is like, number 1, how to avoid the conflict between government versus local residents. There's been so many furious local residents who's really not been happy about what government's doing for them. And they don't like this way of using the budget and stuff. Number 2, where to redevelop with the limited budget. So it's about the real estate. So it's quite like it's such a hot potato, to be honest. Thirdly, how to make the regeneration more sustainable. You may have known a couple of cases back in your country or here in Korea. They've been really putting so much money on rebuilding this and that, and basically after this government project is done, no people go, they're all in debris and stuff like that. So these 3 topics, just like summed up. So what have been done and what have they been doing for these 3 areas? So I believe 2 main characteristics of this Korean urban regeneration can be summed up into this 2. It's very local economy industry incubating. So we really want to focus on deeply focus on this locality. They want to incubate the regional industry. They want to do this. Have this build urban facilities. And number 2 is very, very community-led. So they've been planning actions by local citizens, and government just want to take the supportive role now because they've been quite criticized for many, many years for being too much top-down. So they want to empower the citizens and you decide what you want to do for your environment, for your neighborhood, and we're just going to support you. So these 3, motivating the citizen participation more and increasing the commercial projects. So this is because yeah, you can read this later on, but just like a brief introduction is like, as I said, the budget's limited, so the government cannot basically redevelop every single cities available from this Korea. So it's basically, okay, if there's private subject wants to redevelop any of these areas that the public cannot choose, I'm going to support you with this with some funds. So this is like some kind of fast track, and also some public organizations are trying to acquire the commercial buildings and redevelop for the houses and stuff like that. And also, as I say, they really trying their utmost best to incubate and accelerate these local-based businesses. Because, yeah, I mean, people thinking the government been focusing on quantity, not the quality of development. So they are trying to incubate this, this specialized local businesses who can really take some role in, helping to rebuild the amenities for the city, reunite the communities, fostering local-based young entrepreneurs. So I'm going to explain this later, but this government is really like loving these young entrepreneurs who want to start up their business in these locals. So they've been calling for the startups and local ventures, and they can get all these education sessions and funding to start up their business and things like that. Yeah, so this is like a brief. So if you're interested to know, if you want to know more about what the local creator, what they are actually, and what kind of government supports they can get, you can just search for local creator, like from Google or Naver, and you will get like a couple of these articles that's gonna give you more info. So basically, it's like they really want to revitalize these local businesses. They want to revitalize the street markets, old markets, and want to create these urban local brands with use of the dedicated resources of the regions. So this is what we really want to focus on this program, because Annam area itself falls into this rise of local creators. We're gonna like talk this more about this week 2 and 3. So just like have this in mind. And we're gonna move on to the part 3. So you may think like, oh, there's this urban decline in Seoul, but there has been actually, according to the Korean definition of declining city. So we have it here. Yay. So, according to the national Korean definition of declining city, those who fall into more than 2 out of 3 below conditions can be categorized as declining cities. Number 1, where there is a clear evidence of population decrease. Number 2, where there is decline of industry, such as the number of businesses. Number 3, where there is deterioration of living environments, such as increase of the old houses. So this is a translation from me. So, but basically the idea is like population, amenities, like these housings, getting these buildings, old buildings, and like this industry. So according to this definition, so this map you see, this is on these pink areas have all these 3, and the blue areas, they have 2 out of these 3. So we have this map, and as a result, more than 300, actually more than 3 out of 4 cities fall into this declining city category. And actually based, so that's back in 2015, but still more than 70% of the low-rise houses are more than 20 years. I mean, you might have encountered these old buildings in Seoul. I mean, okay, this is in Seoul, but just like a couple of steps from, I don't know, Times Square or Gangnam, whatever building, there's like so much old-looking houses, but they just stay there, like looking so old. And for some reason, they're not really rebuilding that house. So they tried to, so she wanted to have some, like their own model for urban regeneration. So a couple of these areas are probably, you know, you're familiar with a couple of these areas. Anything that, oh, I've been this area. Come on, you've definitely been to Sinchon, for example. Yeah? 종로? 성수? Maybe 해방촌, you've been? Yeah. So these areas, for example, Sinchon, yeah, I mean, like, Sinchon is like a hot place, but that actually fell into this urban decline category. So a lot of, you know, like rebuilding projects been going on. I mean, maybe still now, until still now. So in Seoul, they sort of really want to have this community again, because, like, as you see, we don't really have the neighborhood in this freaky bloody city. You know, we don't really say hi to our neighbors, do we? Utilizing these regional assets, I don't know. I mean, like, Korean government really wants to focus on this specialized or designated assets that's only available in this in certain areas or regions. So they want to do, like, for example, Jongno-gu has so many things, because Jongno-gu has all these policies and, like, yeah, that's because, like, it was the capital of the Joseon dynasty, so these old kingdoms, so they have all these historical assets. Maybe Gangnam has some, I don't know, cultural assets, because Psy's been doing Gangnam styling there. So that kind of regional assets. And they also want to build it more inclusive and holistic intent, like that includes all these, like, areas of economy, social, culture, safety. Some key points, they really want to focus more on residents. So they want the projects to be led by the residents or initiated by these people living in these cities. So they've been trying to empower the citizen sort of like governance groups. That's like the pictures on your left here. And also there's like this empowerment group, which is like basically you have an idea of, okay, we want to rebuild something on this city, but we need some prerequisite or like preparatory period for this. So you can like sign up for the empowerment group, and with such, there's been quite like more than 10,000 people in this citizen governance groups. Lots of them, quite a lot. And also, they've been doing this house rebuilding that is funded by the government. So if you think your house is too old, you sign up for this. Oh, I want to rebuild my house. Can you fund me? So you can get the subsidy from the government. They have all this like policies and stuff. And so almost like 6,000 houses been subsidized to look more new. And also, okay, this is quite Seoul specific, but they also wanted to foster some professions and employment on this topic. So they've been doing, for example, urban regeneration coordinator, this like a profession, and they kind of engaged in executing this urban regeneration, and like they work together with citizens and government. So they wanted to foster this profession, and since like in 2021 there have been 200 coordinators in Seoul, and there used to be this online platform for those people who are specialized in urban regeneration, and where they can find jobs, network with each other, and like, you know, get the certification, get the free education, and all this available in one platform. I mean, I tried to log in, but I don't think the website is anymore. But they used to have this. So was with this Korea University Campustown, because like you probably like come here because you wanted to do something, know more about the Campustown and like do something out from it. Okay, I mean the rise of startup cities. We all know about the Silicon Valley, and maybe we also know some other cities or countries that's been quite known for this fostering all the startups, unicorn companies, like Helsinki, and we also have the Zhongguancun in China. They have all this like top universities like in one area, like Tsinghua, Beijing, Renmin Daehakkyo. In Korea, okay, probably this like statistics is quite like old. It should be updated, but according to the statistics, only 2.8 of the college graduates they want to own their businesses, and actually less than 1% of them actually start their business. Okay, I think you want to say something about this 99%, but okay, I mean, probably the one who worked on the statistics wanted to say, okay, I mean, China, it's so entrepreneurial, and like, compared to this, like, China, I mean, Korea, what are you doing? I don't know. Okay, China, almost 90% start.
I think the data is also.
Okay,
Yeah.
You think it's distorted? Okay.
Due to the pandemic, most students tend to be more conservative.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are fear of startup to start their own business.
All right.
They are they prefer to the public servants.
Yeah.
Public servants,
Yeah, I also think like these numbers are quite, I don't know, quite old. You know, maybe it was like sometime like early 2010s or something. But anyways, so like this Korean government has been like, okay, we can do something more about youth entrepreneurship. I mean, basically. So, Korea University, there's been a figure called Professor Kim Se-young, and he started. So he came up with this idea. Yeah, we want to make something like a startup campus or like area. So that was chosen as one of this citizen empowerment projects in Seoul. And that's been also chosen as like a pilot product for 4 years, since 2017, with a budget. So that was the start of the Annam Smart Campustown project. And basically this idea is they want to build the city that's with the central role of the university. They want to empower the young people who are going to basically, realize their dreams by starting up all these high-tech companies. So that's the idea. And also they were chosen for 2020-24 University Startup Valley project, which is like with a larger budget. So they have all these budget businesses going on. Couple of these outcomes since 2022. So they, as I say, they really want to empower young entrepreneurs and want to build some new jobs. So they've been empowering the young entrepreneurs. So they actually have like a startup competition. If you win the competition, you get the free office for like 1 year. You get all this education, mentoring. They do the festival to network young entrepreneurs, and also we do some revitalizing the university culture. I don't know how many of these are familiar to you, but they've been doing this university and region like in collaboration festival called Kuro Annam. I did some survey, and actually my friend who's been living in Annam for 5 years has no idea what Kuro Annam is, but okay, they've been trying to do something. Open space for some cultural events, small street for some university culture. They're trying. And also one of the goals is to make these residents and the citizens to benefit from this project, what's going on. So such as like the small startup cafe here, I said this is really open to public. You don't have to students, you don't have to be Annam resident, you don't need to have the ID or the membership to come to this cafe. You can just walk in, free coffee. there are some uni classes where, I don't know, all the citizens who live in can just come to the uni and take free class. And a couple of citizen lab projects. If you're interested, you can go to the Anamdong 캠퍼스타운 website. I think projects are quite well archived. And also, you may want to check out the Instagram. In Twitter, it's 캠퍼스타운, because like this Korea Uni 캠퍼스타운 was the first 캠퍼스타운 in Korea, so they got this idea. They sometimes just like post new events, new free events, what's going on, festivals, free classes. This Anam 101 Local Creators Lab was also like here, put up here, so you can check out. Oh my God, it's almost perfectly at the time. So it's almost 6, and maybe 1 or 2 questions, and we're gonna have like a 10-minute break before we move on to the discussion. Yeah.
The startup coffee, you can get free coffee no matter you are a student or a social people. Then how can you get profits?
Oh, this is basically like non-profit. This is funded by. We've shown you all this like projects, initially from this great Kim Se-young and and like everything. We have all this budget, and basically, with this budget, it's like a couple of different projects and like.
Spend the budget.
Okay, one feedback. Thank you. Actually, they get the donation there. They have the donation box.
Anyone want to donate? The box there.
But they are not gonna give you like this look, even though you don't donate anything, even though you come every day to this cafe. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to ask about the funding for review the house. So what are the criteria for my house to be chosen to be reviewed?
So actually have the criteria here. It's like a table, but it's I don't think you're gonna be able to see. So if you are more interested in this, house rebuilding, there is the link, funded housing revitalization. We have the link here. This slide is going to be shared, so you can check more. But basically, you have to be like a, how can I say, it should be like 1-story house, and it should be more than like that case where like they have like this car where it's like they have all one category 1, and it should be like I'm not really able to see this. It should be public house. So basically it's like villa, where like it's like a small house with like lots of people like living in the same building, like a flat, like British flats. So they have these categories. And basically government is not going to fund 100%. It's maybe going to they're going to fund like 50% of the construction budget. And you have to take like another 50%, but it's still quite good, right? Yeah, if you're more interested in more of this, there's like also in provinces you probably heard about Jeonju Hanok Maul, Hanok Village, right? So some provinces also want to build Hanok Village in their areas. So if you want to build Hanok, the government is actually gonna give you 1억 or whatever money. I want to have one Hanok, and 1억 here. Yeah. You have to pay more just by yourself, but the idea is like that. If what you want to rebuild with your house, or this house you want to build new, is sort of it matching with the interest of the Seoul-si or this provincial governments, probably you will get more chance of winning the subsidies. But almost no subsidies, 100%. You have to pay your money as well. I paid my money when I was founding my own business, so it's like that. Right? Probably, you can anytime ask questions. So, we are going to have a 10-minute break. Say hi to friends and things. So, discussion, I'm just briefly going to explain how the discussion is going to go, and you can go to your 10-minute break. So, I want you to scan the code, and if you scan the code, you are going to be able to get one page, web page, and this is called Padlet. And this Padlet is basically opens a site You don't have to log in anything, don't worry. You can just jot down any of these ideas by just posting. If you can see like a plus button at the bottom, right? You just click the plus button to add your opinion. And I've added some discussion questions from number 1 to 3. So you can just brainstorm those 3 questions while you're like taking your coffee. And so that's the idea. So after like a 10 minute, so it's 6:03, we're gonna come back, 6, maybe 6:15. So yeah, 10-minute break, and we're gonna go back to the discussion. Thank you.